After 17 years of confusion and failure, I finally realized the one concept that really explains how one-to-one conversation works. And a lot of people and everyone who gives advice, they really overcomplicate it. Like, they give a bunch of different things, and it's like, you don't need all that. You can sum it up in one thing. Basically, you have to listen to what the person says, and there's going to be a bunch of topics in what they say, and from those topics, you have to listen listen closely to hear what the topics are from what the person is saying. There's going to be a bunch of different little roads that you can take to different parts of conversation, and then you pick the ones that you think you'd have something to say that you might be interested in, and then that leads the conversation. And it won't always work, but I'll get to that later. But first, I'll share the story that made me realize this concept. I was talking to someone, and we were talking about I was talking to someone, and we were talking about literature, and then the conversation went into they're like, oh, I can't read because I got a bah, 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 bah. Basically, I was having a conversation with someone about literature, and they were saying oh, they can't really read that much because they have homework, and I asked them to clarify, because what, you have no time? They're like, then they clarify, and they're like, oh yeah, I go skating, spend time doing that stuff, rock climbing, stuff like that. And then I was like, literature, what? I didn't know what to say, because it's tongue boat. My mind was on books, and you don't read books much, but, and I broke down. And what I should have done was I should have taken skating or rock climbing, because I have things to say about that. It's skating's kind of fun. It could be oh, skating. How do you like skating? And then we could talk about skating. Those are the topics I have to figure out, that there's skating, rock climbing, and then I pick one of the roads to follow. And that's that's essentially it. But what if they don't put anything, because they don't put out topics, because they're kind of not saying too much. So maybe they're reserved, maybe they're stuck on one piece of conversation. Well, funny you ask, hypothetical person, because if your goal is to point out, to find the topics, this is a thing that we intuitively do. We just don't really realize it. But if that's a thing, you can do the same thing. When you're talking to them about whatever, I don't know, how's your day going? You can bring up a bunch of different topics that you're interested in. It's when someone, you just can talk about sleep, not sleeping enough. You can talk about, oh, I ate food, and you can have a conversation about food. Or, I don't know, it can be oh, you could just kind of divert and be I've been wanting to go to the park all day, but I couldn't because I was at school. And then you can talk about park animals, maybe. Basically, what I'm saying is you gotta put things down so that the other person can pick them up, and they can choose from the topics that you put down. So you basically gotta put a bunch of topics, or just put topics that you enjoy, and hope the other person picks the topics. And they won't necessarily do that, but they're interested in talking to you. That's basically all you can do. You could be a bit more forceful in what topic comes and like, but if you're forceful, then it's kind of, they might not want to really talk about that. Then you're just kind of forcing them to talk about something they just don't care about, and that's like a really bad feeling. Yeah, it's yucky when someone does that to you. You can't be forceful. That explains everything. This one concept put down. This one concept. Find topics, what the other person says, pick from them, and if you, and then like ask or develop on those topics. If you can't do that, put down topics yourself and hope that they take some of those topics and have some interest in some of those topics. And that's socializing 101, baby. That's how one-to-one conversations function. It's not that complicated. And a lot of people, the struggle is really, it's like someone asks a very vague question. It's like, how's your day? How's school? How's life? And basically, I think you just have to have a pre-prepared question or a pre-prepared response to that question. Because like if you're on the spot, you're gonna only be thinking of your momentary feelings, and it's gonna be hard to put it to words. But if you have a pre-prepared response, you can just you'll know exactly what to say, and then you can talk about literally anything. Because the question is so vague that you can say literally anything. It's so much. They're giving you freedom, and it's like it's kind of hard to do anything with it. But if you prepare beforehand, is it really that hard? I mean, it takes practice. Yeah, really, everything I'm saying here it's all concept and how the functioning is. You really just have to practice it. And I'm not really there yet at fully mastering it. My friends can, they could tell you very, with the word, they could, they're my alibi here. They know exactly what I mean by that. But and I'd like to say, if you're a clever pickle, you'd realize that what I'm describing is the value of small talk. This is what small talk is good for. It's for people to put out their interests, and you can pick at their interests and just pick whatever and talk about the things they put down. Small talk has value. There's a reason people use it. Anyway, I just want to finish this video. I just want to finish this Socializing 101 class by telling you, don't overwhelm yourself with advice. This one concept, I think, is enough. Because I think you just have to get good at this one thing. And if you're able to just master finding the topics one other person says and then developing on them and putting topics down for other people to hopefully pick up and talk about, that then you can socialize basically with one-to-one conversation. With group conversations, I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe that's gonna be my second class. But for now, internalize that one thing. Internalize this one thing. Look for topics and what the other person says. Pick the ones that interest you, talk about it. If you have things to talk about, choose those ones. And put topics yourself. And hope they talk about it. Anyway, Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna go skating now. Cheers.